My commanding officer thought he could ruin me with one cruel order. But on my last day in the army, I made sure his entire career went up in flames. This is the story of how a spineless CO tried to screw me and how I got the sweetest revenge of my life. If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to someone who abused their power, smash that like button and subscribe. This story is military karma at its finest. And trust me, you'll love how it ends. It was 1984. I was a young female, sergeant in the US Army, just weeks away from leaving to go back to college. Money was tight. Every paycheck mattered. Then, during a 4-day pass, I returned to my barracks to find my door scarred with tool marks. The lock busted and all my essential gear gone: helmet, backpack, web belt, ammo carrier, the works over $800 worth of equipment, a whole month's pay back then. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just gear, it was survival. So I did what we're trained to do. I reported it. My platoon. Sergeant and first sergeant told me to call the MPs. But before I could, the company commander, the CO himself, summoned me. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "Don't call the MPs. I don't want this in the blotter. It'll make the company look bad. Just file a report of survey. You won't have to pay a dime." I trusted him. He was my commanding officer. So I filed the paperwork. Weeks later, the verdict came back. Denied, no police report, no reimbursement. I had to pay for all of it out of my own pocket. I was crushed. I needed that money for college for life after service. When I went to my CO hoping he'd fix the mess his own order created, he smirked and said, "Tough break, nothing I can do." In that moment, something inside me shifted. I wasn't just a soldier being screwed over. I was a target of arrogance, and I wasn't about to walk away quietly. The irony? Just a week earlier, I had carried this entire company on my back during a high-stakes NBC, nuclear, biological chemical, evaluation exercise. My specialty, our CO. He sat on the sidelines playing the observer, while I, a junior sergeant, maneuvered 120 men, including senior lieutenants, 5 miles into a staging area. I directed security protocols. Decontamination of tanks gear personnel. I'd never commanded an armored company before. But I pulled it off, and the evaluator, a captain from Division HQ, publicly praised me. But during the debrief, that same captain made a dangerous mistake, gave the troops wrong instructions that in real combat could have gotten them killed. I cared about my soldiers, so I corrected him politely, respectfully. He didn't take it well. His face burned red, his pride bruised. Later, he cornered me privately and told me not to make the required radio call back to HQ. Said it wasn't necessary. My first sergeant overheard. I thought nothing of it. Until days later, I was hauled into the CO's office with the first sergeant present. The CO sneered and announced, "We failed the evaluation, and it's on you. You didn't make the radio call." My heart stopped. He knew. He had to know. It wasn't my fault. That captain had told me not to, but my CO. He saw a scapegoat, and he threw me under the bus without hesitation. I could have defended myself. I could have told the truth. But then I remembered the stolen gear, his order that cost me a month's pay, his smug face when he told me, "Tough break." No, let him burn. I kept my mouth shut. That was the moment I decided. If he wanted to play games with my future, I'd make sure his career went down in flames before I left. It started small. A few weeks later, I was out processing, preparing to leave for good. The CO, as always, kept treating soldiers like dirt, especially one poor guy who was sick. Morale was at rock bottom. The supply sergeant, an old-timer about to retire, pulled me aside. He said, "I can't believe the CO screwed you over like that. Here, take these keys, replace whatever. You lost. He's responsible for this inventory now, not me." I couldn't believe it. For the first time, someone had my back. I replaced most of my stolen gear, though I still had to cover a couple $100 myself. But that wasn't all. The Supply Sergeant told me something else, something far more valuable. He revealed where the backup training logs were kept. Weapons quals, physical training tests, the lifeblood of any inspection. And wouldn't you know it? A massive inspection was just days away. An inspection that determined whether our CO got promoted or got humiliated. I held the keys, I held the knowledge, and I held the grudge. The night before the inspection, those training records vanished. Every backup log, every electronic copy. Gone, wiped clean like they never existed. By dawn, panic spread through the company. A year's worth of weapons qualifications, physical tests, lost. The CO turned pale. He had to explain to higher headquarters why his entire company suddenly had zero documentation. The fallout was brutal. To fix it, they had to requalify the whole unit. Every rifle, every grenade, every machine gun, even tank cannons, all had to be redone. And the PT tests, running push-ups, sit-ups, the works. The soldiers, they loved it. They got to spend days shooting and training. The CO, he looked like a complete failure. Exactly what he was. My final morning in uniform. The company stood in formation, exhausted from retesting, staring down another week of makeup qualifications. My first sergeant, who knew exactly what had happened, walked up to me with the faintest grin. He shook my hand firmly and said, "That was the best ETS prank I've ever seen. You're a good soldier I'll miss. You..." He winked, and in that moment I knew justice had been served. The CO who once sneered at me, who told me tough break when I was robbed, who used me as a scapegoat, was now humiliated in front of his bosses, his soldiers, his peers, his reputation in tatters. And I walked away free with an honorable discharge, a college future ahead of me, and the satisfaction of knowing karma had finally hit back. Revenge wasn't just about making him pay. It was about reclaiming the power he thought he could take from me. Sometimes justice doesn't come from the system. Sometimes you have to deliver it yourself. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more Reddit revenge stories that prove karma always finds its target.